Hello there. I'm Kios Throne and Beatmaker, and welcome to the Monday Mindset. And on this episode, we're going to discuss love requires one to be strong. Part 2. If he decides to spend each moment of his life living in love, and the knowledge that he is most real and human when he is living love, society labels him a weak minded romantic. Dr. Leo. To love life, to embrace your individuality, to love what it means to be human. You are seen as being a foolish, hopeless romantic, wandering the world in love. But it is such a crime to love yourself truly, in a quest to seek such genuine energy in return. To live life in the moment by embracing each moment and its totality as a flower embraces the sun in the sky. There is a symbolic relationship between living in love, living in the moment, and being human. As an individual who practices in the art of living, you love each day that life has given you. Each day is a chance to be better than yesterday, for we love the challenge of life. As we accomplish every challenge we face, it strengthens our love for life that much more. It motivates us to love and live that much more. It pushes us to thrive in life that much more. This pushes individuals who practice the art of living, embrace the moment, to lay down their phones and their preconceived notions and allow the moment to guide them in their life's journey. For to deny ourselves the moment is to deny ourselves opportunities to change the very fabric of our reality, to improve upon the essential reality or break away the walls of the false reality. Those who embrace the art of living embrace their humanity. They reject the transhumanistic ideologies and programming that dares to strip the individual of their identity and their mind. Students of the art of living are students of humanity, continuing to improve and strengthen oneself in relation to their journey, are becoming the best versions of themselves by becoming the best that humanity has and will always offer. We do not deny nor reject being human. We embrace it wholeheartedly, for we came into this world as humans, and damn it, we will leave as one. There is no greater gift the source has given us, the ability of individuality and freedom of thought. Each and every day, students of the art of living are blessed and grateful to be given such a gift and will refuse to ever take it lightly. We respect what it means to be human. We love being human. So I say to you all, be ready to die to feel alive. Man has, on the one hand, the understanding and drives for growing in love. But society makes this knowledge difficult in practice. Society's reality differ from love's reality. It is truly hard to grow in love in such modern times, especially for one as a man. The society we find ourselves in currently is doing everything it can to dismantle what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman. But for men, it's even that much harder to find yourself in a world where you must hide your love to prevent it from being stolen, exploited, tortured. You have to grow in love in secret. You cannot express your growth and love in oneself or another. And it seems to be that we are finding ourselves at a crossroads, in the sense that um in the sense that there is there's no more um societal reality. There seems to be a false societal reality that is being created through such various ideologies and agendas. And it seems to be the case that this false societal reality has been evolving, so to speak, you could almost say, since modern time has been birthed. And it's like a slow drip, but now the faucet is running and it ain't hiding no more. And this false societal reality that is preventing man from growing in love, from being in love, it seems to enjoy and thrive on such a president. It's even more shameful to see men who willingly join in such a president and advocate for such degradation in our manlyhood. But that seems to be par for the course for this agenda. But speaking as an individual, speaking as one of freedom of thought, I have no interest in such president, such agenda. And I know that I'm not the only one. If you listen to such a podcast, I think you are pro-human and have no interest in such ideological false societal narratives that they wish to indoctrinate us with. But you see, I find this to be quite humorous at this point. For a mirror has been reflected upon them, and the world is seeing them for what they are. The world is seeing what it's becoming for what it is. I'm sure many of you have seen the memes, or know. We're living in clown world. And only such false rhetoric would promote eradicating the truth of what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman. But you see, for men, it's even that much more difficult because we can't even love honestly for the narrative that is being pushed makes it damn near impossible. So men find themselves at a crossroads and what it means to be a man and what it means to find love and be in love in such times. And I think that we as men, and even for women, you must truthfully and fully love yourself. You must love who you are as an individual. You must love who you are as a man, who you are as a woman. You must value and hold yourself accountable. But keep in mind that such words I speak is heretical and could damn well get me in trouble with the Inquisition of the Imperium of mankind. How do we navigate such waters? If voices that dare to speak such words, voices bigger than mine, with more of a platform, are afraid to speak, then what say you? Is there any out there who dare to speak their mind truthfully and honestly? Or are we going to continue to allow the fear to deny us the ability to love on our terms? But I don't know if people really truly care or if they're just too caught up in the false reality. I mean, as I like to put it, man, people are drinking the Kool-Aid. You can see people gulping it, you can see people bathing in it. And even for me navigating this world, and it's funny speaking to women here and there and just seeing the Kool-Aid just just dripping down the corners of their mouth, and you just can't help but just pity some of them. Pity people who have fallen in love in the false reality. And that is what we call a false love. It's not true, it's not real. But so many of them are caught up in it. It's quite unattractive, to be honest. And I think there are many men out there who are similar of similar mindset who find it very unattractive, such dating market at the moment. Not much appealing out there. So as I said before, stick to the path. Love will find its way to you once you love yourself, my brothers. And for my sisters out there, learn some accountability and stop drinking the Kool-Aid and start living in the essential reality. But that means taking a deep dive in oneself. And that means being wrong. That does not seem like something that's your style, ladies. No disrespect. But I think you all are very much well aware of what happens when such dangerous modern rhetoric consumes your ideological, individualistic mind. And there are men who speak of such mindsets as well, and they're nothing more than beta cucks, consumed in transhumanistic ideology as well, consumed in the false reality. And it makes it that much harder for men who live in the art of living to find love, especially to find love that is untainted by pharmaceutical poison. Dangerous times indeed. But I do have hope. As the veil continues to lift, people will begin to remember how to love themselves and will fight against such current to find love, true love, within the essential reality. Not this false love that many have found themselves in, many have consumed themselves in, searching for validation within the false love. It's quite the spectacle indeed to see, to bear witness to. But see, this is the problem. This is the situation that we find ourselves in. Because men of the individual thought, of individuality, we know that to grow and be in love in this society, it is difficult, it is dangerous. But we also know that it is essential to maintain those traditional values that allow us to continue to expand and evolve and bear fruit to a legacy that allows us to maintain our individuality, to maintain our societal structure, to improve upon our societal structure, and to bring us back to our old ways of truth and knowledge, of honesty, bound within a healthy mindset, within a healthy body as well, that's not programmed and fed such rhetoric to consume yourself in a false identity of body positivity. And another way to deny us the ability to love ourselves, deny us the ability to love. Because to be a man and have certain qualities and standards to be in love, you could be seen as fat phobic, you could be seen as transphobic, you could be seen as any type of damn phobic you want out there. And this in this such modern collapsing society makes it even that much more difficult to be in love as a man. To be in love as a man of individuality. To be in the love of man of morals and creed, of traditional mindset and values, of traditional creeds, of a traditional purpose. What have you. But we must maintain and we must stay focused. Stay focused, my brothers. We must stay focused. But this is all par for the course. And as I have said in the past, you know, I look at all of this as a challenge to test my resolve. And we, as men of the art of living and women of the art of living, must see this current climate as a challenge to our resolve. And we must stand firm in our resolve and allow such a mindset to influence others to embrace the art of living, to embrace the essential reality and reject the false reality. And it is possible, but we have to allow them the opportunity to make that choice for themselves. Easier said than done, I am well aware. But that is why we need men of leadership quality. And we are sorely lacking of that as of this moment. And perhaps in due time we may find such leadership. But at the end of a collapsing empire, such leadership is hard to find. And I imagine the price is quite steep. But hopefully, as the veil continues to unlift, such leadership will unveil itself to the world, and people will begin to embrace the art of living, embrace the essential reality. To be open to love, to trust and believe in love, to be hopeful and love and live in love, you need the greatest strength. Dr. Leo. Such strength in love requires one to have strength within their individuality, to fully embrace the art of living with a symbiotic relationship between love and the individual, to open yourself to such vulnerable vitality, one who is secured in their identity. Without searching for identity in oneself, such openness will fall victim to exploitation, pain, and suffering and manipulation. Unfortunately, many out there are insecure in their identity and seek their validation through illicit love. Such behavior tends to be when an individual becomes their environment. In our current modern era, we are seeing a trend with the devalue of love. The respect and humility that is expected is seen as foolishness, weakness, and goes against certain ideologies and narratives that dare not have such accountability in how they love. So to love now in this modern era, one must have the greatest of strengths and love themselves truthfully and wholeheartedly before they can open themselves to love another, to allow another's love in. As I said before, we are losing what it means to appreciate and value love. So individuals are forced to love themselves first before they could ever think of loving another. But to love yourself, you must let go of the ego. You cannot love the ego, only love the individual. Only then will an individual have the strength and capability and mindset to be open to love another with the strength and fortitude of the mind and spirit that can handle any unforeseen circumstances or patterns that may appear. For the individual knows that no one can take away the love they have for themselves. For such love was created within their mind's eye. No lover can steal the mind of such an individual. They crucify a Jesus, shoot a Gandhi, behead a Thomas More, and poison a Socrates. Society has little place for honesty, tenderness, goodness, or concern. These get in the way of the world. Dr. Leo. As I have said before, and as I will say now, we live in a time where to speak of positive mindset, self improvement, self fulfillment, and accountability and self actualization, to embrace being a fully functioning person is heresy, heretical, dangerous, and it could cause one the cancellation of themselves. Look at this world we live in now, where a man of my caliber who had more of a platform would be a threat to the agenda, to the narrative. You see them now. They go after them, silence them. You know who I speak of. The Andrew Tates of the world. The the Gandhis of the world, the Socrates of the world. They all find themselves to be a threat because they speak of individuality, because they speak of freedom of thought. And yes, some of them, their way of communicating may not be appreciative to everyone, but it is the fact that they are allowed the ability to speak their mind is what makes this world so great. Granted, I understand that not every country is seen as such. It's funny when I speak to people and I tell them we are the only country in the world with a First Amendment. And they're like, what? What do you mean? England doesn't have one? No, in England you can get arrested for what you say online. Especially if you speak mean words. But this is what I mean. To speak of eating healthy, you are seen as racist, as a white supremacist, as a fat phobic person. I ask you, how is that appropriate? How is it appropriate to advocate for health in oneself? You will be deemed a racist. You will be deemed a phobic. What kind of rhetoric are they trying to establish? And please spare me if you believe in such rhetoric. It is dangerous and unhealthy to the body and mind. You would not be listening to my podcast if you believed in such rhetoric. Or maybe you're just listening because you hate me. And if so, I love you too. But my point stands, and the point that Dr. Leo is making. We live in an era now where such men would be crucified in the public square, just as Jordan Peterson is right now. Such a cruel and hypocritical world. He speaks of improving oneself. He speaks of denying the false reality, rejecting its ideological dribble and nonsense. And he is seen as a threat. They wish to re educate him. Because speaking of holding oneself accountable, of cleaning your room, is dangerous. Dangerous to the narrative, dangerous to the agenda, dangerous to the hive mentality. And you see, that is why Such men now are finding themselves crucified in our modern era, or should I say, canceled in our modern era, because they threaten the hive mind. They threaten the ideological narrative of the false societal world of the hive mind. And here we are, the Jordan Petersons, the Andrew Tates, the Joe Rogans, what have you. Any individual out there who speaks of being oneself, of denying the hive mind, we are seen as threats. How similar to the Inquisition within Warhammer 40K. Hunting down any of those who go against the narrative. But I have no problem going against the narrative. It's par for the course for individuals of free will. Free will is a dangerous thing nowadays. And I plan to continue to fight for it and promote it and advocate for it. Whether or not you believe it, that's not the point. The point is having the right to choose whether to believe in it or not. And we live in a time where they wish to deny us that ability. Denying us that ability, no different than denying us the ability to love on our own terms, to grow in love. They wish for us to love on their terms, just as they wish for us to live and think on their terms. I have no interest in such a lifestyle. But we are all individuals who need to advocate for pushing against such lifestyles. But you see, we get in the way of the world. And the way of the world is run by oligarchs. It's run by corporations. It's run by the military industrial complex. And we of individuals, we get in the way of such a world. And in such a world, the hive mentality is on high demand, is what keeps the machine going. And we choose to live of more of a natural order of things. We live and breathe and desire to be in the true world of things, the true way of the world, not the way of the world of the oligarchs, the military industrial complex, of the corporations and the pharmaceuticals. We wish to live the way of the world in tune with nature and our humanity. It's a fact that man does not move in a world of lovers. If he deals in the world of men, he's more likely to come upon selfishness, cruelty, deception, manipulation, and like parasitic actions. The world of modern man, it's not one for the faint of heart. It is an environment filled with endless stressors that can break man into a savagery of cruelty in actions, deception in words, and manipulation of the very meaning of I. Such side effects stem from the parasitic actions that infect the world of man through the stressors that are constantly exposed to us. An endless drip of radiation that melts away an individual's ability to live fully human within a functioning personhood. How man has lost touch with the realm of love, a time foregone in the modern era. It's still found within the hunter gatherers of our present past. We find ourselves in this modern era struggling to maintain our humanity, while those of actualized intention and individuality see the writing on the wall. They struggle with maintaining balance in such parasitic waters. Men and women find themselves in a battleground for the very identity of our biological truth. How can man find love in a world of such heretical rhetoric that dares to strip away our humanity in favor of a transhumanistic ideological hive mentality that strips the individual of their identity and their biological make? So, those of us who walk the art of living continuously must battle such environments in order to maintain and save our individuality from the storms that continue to persist, from the savagery of such rhetoric that dares to infest itself upon us. We must stand firm in our morals and creed against the coming storm that has rained upon us such embers of poison, vitriol, and malice. We must stand tall in our individuality. We must speak our words with honesty and humility and strength. Our actions must reflect the moral creed that guides our mindset, that elevates our soul. Embrace the art of living, embrace being fully functioning human. Embrace the realm of love, manifest into the essential reality within the personal universe of your actualization. They select him carefully, spend some time at his feet in adulation, then get great satisfaction in the slaughter. It's as if they cannot handle perfection, as if it causes them to reflect upon themselves, to move them to change, the thought of which is perhaps too uncomfortable and painful. It's easy not to see or concern themselves with perfection. They can be content with their own imperfection. Dr. Leo. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Monday Mindset. To learn more about myself and how you can support The Monday Mindset, head over to my Patreon page at Ronin Art and Music. That's Ronin Art and Music. If you're interested in reaching out, follow me on social media. On Twitter, Ronin Art and Music, or at me at Kios Ronin, KoiosRonin. On Instagram, follow me at RoninArt_music. And if you prefer to email, hit me up at themondaymindset009@gmail.com. That's themondaymindset009@gmail.com. And that is all lowercase. If you're listening to this on your preferred streaming service, please make sure to subscribe. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment and a review, and slap that notification bell. On Apple Podcasts, please make sure to subscribe, rate the podcast, and leave a review, as this will help me and the podcast grow. Stay positive, stay focused, stay true, and much love.